What's good, YouTube? Your girl's back again. I'm back, y'all. I'm back. I'm so sorry, y'all. I literally disappeared again for like the second time, but I was waiting on applications. I also got a job. Your girl got a job, so you know I'm a working woman. Okay, I was on vacation in December. Like, there's just been so much that happened, so I kind of wanted to just take a break and come back when I had the right mental space and had experienced these things, because I wanted this YouTube to serve as something that, like, you know, I document as I go, and also so I can give you fresh advice on what just happened. But I'm gonna share some tips and tricks that I wish I would have done, and then some that I did do that helped me get into optometry school. So
It's like
not the whoa. So what is OptomCAS? OptomCAS is the official optometry school application. You know, some schools have their own applications too, but OptomCAS is just the general application for schools in the United States. So the cycle opened June 30th of 2020 and it closes May 27th of 2021. So again, it'll open back in June 30th. The OptomCAS application fee is $180, and for any additional school is $70. And there's 4 parts to the application. There's the personal information, the academic history, the supporting information, and the program materials. So each school has different requirements. There's different things you need to submit. There's supplements that school require. I've noticed that different school had like an area just to submit any documents to support or make your application stronger. It's really different depending on what school you decide to apply. So definitely take a look at that area to see what's there. Optometry school is a 4-year program with optional residency, which adds another year. That residency, practically you can advance your skills, or you can do a specialty in a certain area. There's low vision, ocular disease, pediatrics. There's so much. But yeah, if you want to go back and do that, you can do it. People do it right after optometry school. I'm potentially thinking of doing a residency. Also, if you want to go back to teach, you do have to have a residency in order to go back to teach in optometry. It's just a preference if you want to do a residency or not. It's not required, but that means if you do a residency, it would be 5 years of school. The 5th year wouldn't really be school because you're just in clinic, so it would be like clinical school. So my first tip is to start early. Like, I cannot stress this enough. Start early. I literally applied to school in October. I didn't hear back from schools until December, January, February. And you know, I had a little special case, but that's a story for another day. Most optometry schools are rolling applications, and practically means that, you know, you apply and they can get back to you before their deadline per se. So like schools can take from 2 weeks to a month to get back to you. Whether that is to tell you, you know, we decided not to move forward, or whether that's to tell you, yes, we want to interview you because we're interested in you. Whatever the case may be, that's what rolling is. So you could just practically apply since the application opens up until the point that they close the application, and hear back in between that time. And even if you're not ready to apply, say this cycle, you're gonna apply next cycle, just open the application, get familiar with the application. Like, there's so many moving parts, and it's so important to start early. Like, you could even start putting your personal information, your name, address, you know, all these little mini things that like really take time later on. So you could just get that done. And the best part about OptomCAS is if you start this cycle putting in your information, you can literally transfer it to next cycle. So you can open it, just put in your little information or whatever you want to put in there, extracurriculars, etc., and it'll literally get transferred to the next cycle. Also, another thing that I wish I did was fill in fill in the classes slowly, because when I tell you, some people pay their services like $140 for them to like putting your academic courses, but I'm not paying $140 when I can do it myself. You know, I don't got money already. I already have to pay $180 for this application plus 70 plus schools. So what am I doing paying $140 when I could just do it myself? So I recommend definitely put it in slowly. Like, every day put in 1 class, 2 classes, and you'll finish your whole, you know, your whole transcripts, and you won't even have to pay anybody. I mean, I left it for last minute because I did not know that I had to put in all of my classes and when I took the classes and what grade I got, it a mess. Also, jobs, extracurricular, that stuff takes time because you have to explain. And for that, they give you, so you put in your extracurriculars and then you have to explain. There's like a little description. So what I used that portion was to explain what I learned, because you're submitting, for some schools, you get to submit your resume. They're going to see what you did. So there's no point in telling them what you did. What makes your application strong is when you explain, hey, I learned this. This is what I gained from this. This is like, that's the more valuable part of that part of the application. Or at least I think it is. Like, they want to hear about you. What did you learn? What did you contribute to that area? Or what did you take away from that space once you left whatever you were doing? Overall, it's easier to start early because it's easier to do it over time than to do it all at once. It's very overwhelming. It is. Like, you would think it's not, but it is. And there is an explanation portion of the OptomCAS. Use it. Explain your situation. If you had a bad semester, why? The school's not gonna know. They're just gonna see the grade. So you use that to your advantage. Because there was a part where I said, I know I messed up, but this is what I did to try to fix it through the semester, and this is what I did after the fact, that like I didn't do well in this course, and that just shows what kind of student you are, and that just shows what kind of person you are. And like, they like to see that because they're gonna ask you anyways in your interview, so you might as well explain it before they interview you, so you could just show them already what type of student you are. Like, you're a persevering student, you're a resilient student. Like, your application needs to have all these factors of who you are on paper, so then they're like, oh wow, I really want to get to know Emily. I really want to get to know that student. Like, what is it about this student that like drew you from that application? That's what two, I know I just spoke for mad long for that part, but two, make a solid list. There are 23 schools in the United States, and there's 2 schools in Canada, which already are very competitive because there's limited seats. Some schools are smaller than others. So when you're looking to make a list of schools, ask yourself, would I actually, if you don't already live in the state, would I actually move there? What is the cost of living? Is it a safe area if that's something you're concerned about? Ask yourself, does this school have semester is it a semester system? Is it a quarter system? Because let me tell you, I've never been in the quarter system, and that just seems very overwhelming to me. um you have to ask yourself these questions. Would I actually go here if I apply? Because don't waste your time, your money, and energy. If you really, like, if you got accepted here, I would never go there. Like, I didn't do that. I literally only applied to 2 schools. I had my list of 7 schools, and I really brought it down to like, okay, the area, the cost of tuition, another thing, the retention rates, the graduation rates, board passing rates. I don't want to have to take the boards twice. Does the school prepare me enough that I don't have to take the boards more than once? Like, these are things that you need to take into consideration when applying to a school, because these are the things that are going to affect you as a student and as a doctor eventually. One, check each school's prerequisites. Let me tell you, I didn't do that. And so I had one school where all my prerequisites were done, complete, finito, and then I go to the other school and I'm like, they're telling me I'm missing all these stuff. I'm like, since when? So each school, literally, one school could literally ask for a year of orgo, or they literally could ask for no years of orgo, maybe like one as option. They could ask for anatomy and physiology. Some may put it as an option. So make sure you're checking that after you make a list. So that's why it's important to make the list first. You're checking the prerequisites to see if, checking off the list, like, oh, I got that done, oh, I need this, and do I have time to do it before school? Like, do I need to wait a year? Should I take a year off? These are important things to check. That's why it's so important to start early. Once you have your official transcripts, send them ASAP. Like, ASAP. They took forever. First of all, they took weeks. Especially if you take classes outside of your undergrad. I took summer courses, and so I had a total of 3 transcripts that I had to send over. No, one got there first, the other one got there 2 weeks later. Like, it takes time. So definitely send your transcripts as soon as you've got them, the official ones. If you already took that summer course, request it right away. 5, start writing your personal statement early. I literally rewrote my personal statement like 5 times, and it was over a span of, like, I started in December 2019. Granted, I took a year off. So I started December 2019 and I turned it in October. Like, I'm telling you, even if you start putting ideas down, just brainstorm. You don't even have to write crazy stuff. Just brainstorm. Like, what do I want to write about? What do I want to write that will make me stand out? What about me do I want to share um, that has inspired me to become an optometrist? I'm going to do a separate video on personal statements, so stay tuned for that because I don't want to take up too much of your time. 6, start thinking about who you're going to ask for letters of recommendation, and ask for letters of recommendation early because you want to give them time to really write a strong letter of recommendation. And you want to ask people who really know you and knows your work ethics, just knows you as a person, etc. Stay organized. It is so important to stay organized. You need to have a list. I had like 30 lists. What I needed to get done, what I've gotten done, you know, keeping track of deadlines. When I made my list, I literally had all these things on there. I made a table. And so I had the school name, location, tuition, cost of living if it was out of state. I had prerequisites, literally everything was there. Prerequisites. I had um all these things that I needed to get done, even to the point of like outside supplements, because some schools will ask you for supplements. So you got to also keep that in mind. You have to stay organized. You have to make sure you're keeping track of each moving part because that application is a lot. Each school has a lot of different moving parts. When do I need to get it done by? That's so important. So another thing that I actually found helpful that I didn't really think about until now was downloading the application in PDF version. Like, I didn't think of this being like a thing until I actually did it. It was so important and so crucial to how I made my application stronger was downloading it right before I submitted it. So, and like looking at it fully put together each per school. So how you do this is in your OptomCAS. So when you go on your portal, you're going to see at the top, there's going to be my application, add program, submit application, and check status. So you're going to go to submit application. And right there, I'm going to take a screenshot and then just post it right here. The little download. And so you download the application and you're able to see it fully, like every single piece put together. Your grades, your transcript, like how you put it there, and then like it's great. So I sent it to my pre-health advisor and she looked at it and gave me feedback on it. So I definitely recommend you sending it to a friend or mentor or somebody to look at your application fully. And then I also looked at it and I made notes on it. Like, for example, a huge part of where I wrote notes was my extracurricular and job awards. That part, that's where I made the most notes because I'm like, wait a minute, what am I even saying? So I had to go back and take notes, delete. So I definitely recommend doing that. I didn't really think about it as I was doing it, but it helped me so much. And then, outside of like the application, just a couple pieces of advice is don't compare yourself to anyone else. Be gentle with yourself during these times. Like, it's such an exciting moment. But also remember that even if you don't get the outcome that you thought you would, that's okay. It just wasn't your time, Enjoy your unique journey. I had to take a step back and realize that, it's okay. So what? I didn't hear back when I needed to hear back. I just had to trust God and just trust that He knew better. He knew what was right for me. Also, if you do take a year off, or if you're thinking about taking a year off, I recommend enjoy your time off before you start school. Everybody's told me optometry school is so stressful. So I'm definitely enjoying my time off from school and just mentally preparing myself for what's to come. And then one last piece of advice is believe in yourself. You got this. We tend to be our biggest critics. Definitely remember, just believe in yourself. You got this. You've made it this far, so don't give up. Cheesy cheesy over here. Okay, y'all, I'm leaving because I gotta work tomorrow. See, I'm doing this for y'all. Like, I really have been so busy and I'm like, I need to take time to do these videos because there's people that actually are wondering these things. And so, yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching my video if you made it this far. You're a real one. And I really hope that you guys do take these tips. It will definitely make your application 10 times stronger, and you will stand out as a student. So thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. There's so much to come.